and welcome. Today is the Q&A live with me, Dr. Janine. Nice to see you. Please say hello and where you are streaming in from. And what did we talk about yesterday? Well, we talked about the benefits of sea moss. So if you do have any questions next week, though, in the show, we'll be blending this up and I'm going to show you how to actually prepare your sea moss. But this one is now curating in that water and you can see a bit of lime. We'll talk more about that next week. Okay, but yesterday we went through the benefits, the health benefits of sea moss, which was amazing. Of course, we get together every Wednesday at this time at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to ask the questions. So based on yesterday's show, if you do have any questions, please put them in the comment section. It's so great to have you all here today. And yeah, let me know where you're from. We also talked about making your glasses nice and clean. Of course, these are my blue light blocking glasses and I mixed up that spray, which is amazing. I had to actually go hunting for it for today's Q&A because yeah, everybody in the office is using it to clean their screens, their glasses, their blue blocking glasses. It is amazing. So if you want to see that recipe again, I can show that to you. Hello, hello. Amibahan in Texas. Nice to see you again. I know that you were here yesterday. Donna in Texas is here as well. Coco Bose in, of course, California. Luthra in Canada. Hello, nice to see you. Good afternoon. Manoj in India. Great to have you here. Ginger in Switzerland. Hello. Thank you for tuning in. I'm so glad to have you all here. Khaled Media, hello in, that was in Saudi Arabia. Hello. Thank you for tuning in today. Dr. Ranjit is here. Thank you for tuning in. So great to have you all here. So yes, so if you want, okay, Mana wants to see how do we clean the glasses. Okay, so we mixed this up yesterday. And I've already poured it into my little spray bottle, but a great way to clean your glasses. And of course, not sunglasses, because we don't wear those anymore, do we? Well, you may need them in certain situations, but if you follow me, you know that I don't love wearing sunglasses. It's going to have a negative impact on your overall health. Okay, so cleaning your glasses though, and wearing glasses is definitely going to be better than contacts. Actually, that's a good idea for a future show. I hope my team is writing that down. Wearing glasses versus wearing contacts, the health implications of that. This is really important. It can affect so many different mechanisms and your hormones. We will be talking about that in a future show. Okay, but here's how we mix this up. Okay, so you're gonna get some water, and I just mixed this yesterday into a little bowl, some rubbing alcohol, and some dish soap, a couple drops. I'm gonna show you the recipe so that you can see that, and then you just mix that into your spray bottle, spray your glasses, all of your screens as well. So for your cell phone, I use this, and it has a sanitizing effect as well, which is amazing. Helps to clean off your screens. They become so clear and all those fingerprints are gone off of your, maybe it's your laptop, whatever it is. It is amazing. Okay, so here's the recipe. 3 parts of rubbing alcohol, 1 part water, 1 to 2 drops of dish soap. That's it. You mix that into and put it into a spray bottle and you're gonna shake it to mix it all together and then spray. Amazing, and then wipe it off. And you can use a tissue, whatever you want. If you have one of those, glass cleaning little pieces of fabric, you could do that as well. I just usually use a tissue because they're close at hand. Laura in South Africa, nice to see you. Anita, hello, good morning. Thank you for tuning in today. If you do have questions, please put them in the comment section. I know that, there's jokes happening too. It also cleans other parts. Yeah, okay. Cleans your brains? All right. That's funny. Okay, great to see you. Thank you for tuning in. And it's great to have you all here. Okay, so Kathy's asking about maximizing your iron levels in your blood. That's something that actually we didn't cover yesterday, so that's something that we can talk about in a future show. I won't give the answer because it's different depending on what lab is testing, what country you're in, and of course because we're multicultural here, and I don't want to give out numbers when we're not all in Canada, which I'm guessing you are, Kathy, okay? So that's something that I can take a look at and sort of find some, basis of labs and how that works around the world in terms of where your numbers should be. And that being said, though, in terms of your numbers, when we're talking about any type of blood work, the data that you get is just information. Yes, if you're outside the normal ranges, which in a lot of countries, Canada being one of them, the US as well, the normal ranges aren't necessarily for optimal health, and for optimizing your health, even within those ranges, is not going to be the best thing. So yeah, sometimes we've got to work a little bit higher than the range, lower than the range to actually optimize your health. And it all comes down to how you're feeling, okay? So if you've got some blood work done, it depends a lot of times times how you're feeling as well. But of course, yes, blood work does give us a lot of fantastic information. Okay, so there's Ethereal is asking about bone and joint pain and for health, helping to gain muscles. Well, this is something that we've talked about in previous episodes, of course, making sure you're optimizing your protein levels. If you've got a lot of pain, your inflammatory response is high, you may have leptin resistance. So I've got a lot of content on that. Anybody who has chronic pain that just doesn't go away, I want you to check out my videos on leptin resistance. It's something that, okay, here we go. We have it right on the ready in terms of what your fat cells. So your fat cells actually give information. They secrete hormones, leptin being a big one, and it gives information to your brain. Now, when you got that resistance happening with your leptin, you see this C-reactive protein, CRP. That's something that can attach to your leptin, and that's the high inflammatory response, and now you've got the resistance. So your leptin levels are actually, in fact, high, but your brain isn't reading it anymore because those receptors sort of shut down from too much of that leptin being secreted. And this is really common if you've got hormonal issues, you've got a lot of inflammation, you are overweight, and you have more fat cells, so secreting more leptin. This is a big problem. So that leptin resistance, very much related to sore joints, that inflammatory response. A big thing here as well is your EMF exposure, your mineral status. So magnesium is a big thing, as well as blue light toxicity is going to make you sore because it's going to downregulate and mess up your mitochondrial function. Okay, lack of sunlight is a big one as well. A-Cowan too is in the house. Hello, thank you for tuning in. Nice to see you. And please make sure that you are hitting that share button so that we can bring more people into the conversation. If you do have questions from yesterday's show, I'm so happy to answer them here. And this is something fantastic that is amazing to always, be tuning in and asking these fantastic questions. Okay, so anything else that I missed in terms of yes. Okay, so we also did talk yesterday about what to look for in a great fish oil supplement. So that's something as well that we discussed. If you want me to go through the list of things to look for, please make sure that you put it in the comments. Anita, thank you for sharing today's live. So making sure, maybe we'll just go there right away. So what do we look for when we're looking for a good fish oil supplement is to make sure that it has certain attributes. And, not all fish oil is created equal. Here's my list of what we went through. So on the label, you're going to be looking for the fact that it says GMP. So good manufacturing practices, and it's coming from a manufacturer that actually follows protocol. This is really important, as well as being higher in that DHA. Let's go over here for a second, because remember, DHA is something that is concentrated in our brain, in our eyes. It is food for our brain, which is so important, but it also concentrates in the eyes, and it actually protects the macula of the eye. Okay, so that DHA, really important. Now, making that connection between your eyes and that DHA, and of course, your brain chemistry is really important. This is what turns on your electrical signaling in your body and affects, of course, your central nervous system and your peripheral tissues as well. We need to have enough of that DHA. Most fish oils are actually not higher in the DHA. Most of them are actually higher in the EPA. So I prefer to take one that is higher in that DHA. No fishy taste or smell. This is really important. If your fish oil that you're taking as a supplement tastes fishy, smells fishy, you're burping up fishy burps, not a good thing. It means that it's probably already oxidized, and that means that, there's some rancidity there. The way that it was processed was probably not the best, okay? It has to taste good. Yeah, you have to like taking it, of course, gone through molecular distillation, and making sure that it's an IFOS 5-star rating. So that means for sustainability, making sure it's a pure product, and there's no contaminants, and of course, no fillers. A lot of companies are putting a lot of fillers in their fish oil supplements, so that's something that you definitely want to make sure that you are not having those fillers in there, which is something that I talk a lot about, of course, when I talk about other supplements. So fillers to look for in your vitamins and your minerals, you got to avoid these, okay? So titanium dioxide, magnesium stearate, a flow agent, never been tested to be safe for long-term human consumption, silicon dioxide. And that titanium dioxide has been banned now in Europe, and yet it's in a lot of supplements in different countries, especially here in North America. So please make sure that you're looking out for that. Please hit that subscribe button. Make sure you are following. Great to have you all here today. And yes. Oh, so yeah, so questions coming in about fish oil. It's been in the news, especially here in Canada, whole news article that came out about fish oil supplements and are they dangerous and can they cause, cardiovascular issues? The answer, in my opinion, and in working with fish oil supplementation with my patients forever, I've heard the story come out. It's like every 10 years or so, the story comes out, oh, fish oil is bad, it's detrimental. Well, it's actually very helpful. There's a reason why some of this negativity comes out behind the scenes. That's a whole other show. But if you look at the research, it is very protective. Now, eating fish is one thing, so that, yes, it can be very healthy. You just got to be worried about some of the contamination issues, the mercury, the PCBs, dioxins. But fish oil supplements, if it's a good high quality supplement, and that article in particular that you're probably referring to, if you actually read the entire article, which I did, it says, get your fish oil from a reputable company, GMP. Make sure that it's been tested to be free from contaminants. Molecular distillation is another thing. They didn't talk about this in the article, but they talked about making sure that it's pure and doesn't have. And going through that molecular distillation is important because if there were PCBs, dioxins in the fish, if there was mercury in that fish, through that processing, it has been removed. So that's a great question. Thank you. You always have to really, do your due diligence and know what you're reading and know why that information is coming out, whether it's good or bad or indifferent in terms of what you hear in the news, in terms of especially natural supplementation. Great question though. Thank you. Yes, and I see some commenting happening on exactly what I'm talking about. So absolutely, you guys get it, which is good. And yes, my team is going to give some answers here in terms of specific fish oils. So that is something that they can answer in the commenting, which is amazing. And okay, knee pain, Mishi, for knee pain. Yeah, if you're just tuning in now, previously we just talked about something called leptin resistance and chronic inflammation. Knee pain is something that I definitely want you to check out my podcast, okay? So tonight we have a long form video that is going to be launched. It is a podcast. You're going to hear it tomorrow, but you won't be able to visually see the exercise that I go through with Rune. And he is amazing. He's from Norway. We did this whole fantastic, very demonstrable, is that the right word? Video podcast. And we go through different parts of the body for pain. And knee pain was one of the techniques that he showed us. So please check out that podcast tonight. It launches around 7 p.m. on long form video, and then tomorrow on the different podcast platforms you can listen to, but you won't get the advantage of being able to see what we're doing, except for some of the podcasts. But it's great because there's one technique specifically for knee pain, and you got to watch that. So check out that podcast tonight. It is amazing. Lisa, I'm so glad that you found me as well. It's so great to have you in MI. Is that Michigan? I hope. Yes, or Missouri? Michigan. Luna Pier. Somebody tell me. Okay, somebody's got to look that up. For my team behind the scenes, I am Canadian. I'm not American. It's in Michigan? Yeah. All right, awesome. Luna Pier, thank you for tuning in. I'm so glad that you're tuning in. I hope that you are subscribed. And of course, you share today's live as well. Make sure that everybody is subscribed, you're following, so that, if you love what you're hearing, and I talk a lot about natural medicine and what we can do naturally to help our aches, our pains, our hormones. I talk a lot about weight loss, liver health, detoxification. You are in the right place. We also went through some beauty things yesterday in the live, which was amazing for those, of course, hooded eyebrows, which is good. And yeah, full body detox, that's something that we talk a lot about. So I like herbal medicines in combination that helps with that full body detox, which is great. Nadia, you love the podcast. I'm so glad. Yeah, I'm honored to have some of the best guests that we source from all over the world on varying topics. I mean, it's very diverse. We talked about breath holding, and I talked to a breath holding champion, Erwan, and that was amazing. And his whole MoveNet type of exercise. If you've missed that podcast, you got to check that out. Amazing. I've also talked to, as I said, Rune is launching tonight. He's from Norway, which is all about, actually fixing your lymphatic drainage and opening up your lymph so that if you've got chronic pain, sinus issues, head and neck pain, headaches, knee pain, we talked about, and tennis elbow. So we talked about that in the interview as well. My pickleball elbow. We talked about that. So great techniques that is is launching tonight on the podcast. And yeah, so many different, there's more coming. Metabolic Mike I spoke with, all about, metabolism and balancing our hormones to help with weight loss. So many great podcasts. And okay, ID Custom Design asking about high cortisol levels. Yeah, that's something that often comes up. And when your adrenals are stressed out, so let's go over here really quickly. When your adrenals are stressed out, so anybody who has chronic stress, a lot of people can relate to this situation, but that chronic stress, let's take Lucy apart really quickly. I want to show you the adrenal glands, because they're just small little glands that sit on top of your kidneys. Another thing, if you've never tuned in before, we talk a lot about liver health here. We also talk about, okay, I have no word. Can somebody take these organs? Thank you very much. This is something that, in terms of fatty liver, I talk a lot about that here on the show as well and on my content. So if you've got fatty liver issues, kidney issues, of course, here's the kidneys, but here's the adrenal glands. And of course, in times of stress, the adrenals will secrete cortisol, a stress hormone. And that cortisol actually has a proper rhythm that happens throughout the day. And that cortisol, if it's peaking at the wrong times, it can mess up your sleep, it can mess up your metabolism, it can make you anxious and you get anxiety. It can, when it's tanking and your cortisol levels are really down in the dumps, then you feel very depressed. I mean, cortisol is integral, but it also works along with your leptin levels, your melatonin levels. So everything, all of your hormones are working in coordination with what? Connecting with what? With nature. And the light and dark, the cold and hot of the day, okay? And that's what I'm really all about. It's what I've written about in my next book, and it's something that make sure you are following me so that you always are getting, my latest and best information, that you can pre-order the book. It's not available yet on pre-order, but it will be very soon. So please make sure that you're subscribed, you're following, and give me some thumbs up. Thank you for all the love coming in. I see all those hearts that are floating. So thank you so much for everybody who's tuning in. I am Dr. Janine. If you're here for the first time, naturopathic doctor, we talk all things natural. And this is my third book. So I have my first two books were bestsellers, working on my third. And yeah, we're working very hard behind the scenes. And if you want more information, we're going to have other opportunities that you can actually connect with me and doing courses and things as well. So please let me know if there's specific things also that you want me to teach. Please put it in the comment section, because that's important for me to know that, what you want to learn more about. Okay, the other thing we talked about, another question coming in about deuterium. So yesterday we talked about deuterium and deuterium depleted water. It's something that our mitochondrial cells make, and that gives us energy, that keeps us out of inflammation. So for chronic pain sufferers, if you've got some kind of pain in your body, you've got to watch those deuterium levels. And we talked about some of the foods that are actually highest in deuterium. Maybe we'll review that list really quickly. Health facts and tips. Yes, you want more of that? Okay, awesome. Okay, so we're going to write this list out really quickly. And maybe we can review who was here yesterday. Let's see who knows what was on the list. Let's start at the bottom. What it is a food that is also something we talked about last week that's high in glyphosate and also high in deuterium. Does anybody know what this is? Okay, just put it in. This is all for fun. It's not school, but it is all for fun. Hello, Sharon from Carlow, Ireland. Nice to have you here. Thank you for tuning in today. And all right. Oh, and you want to see, somebody wants to see my glove. Remember the glove? Can we bring that? It's out on the desk there. Does everybody know? Okay, Blue Sky 8700, that is a great guess. Do we have it? Best Nest has it. All right, we got it. Oats. Yes, oats are high in deuterium. Not the best food to eat at 141 parts per million. Okay, next on the list is a root vegetable. Thank you so much. We will show you that glove in just a second. It is in a video, so I know that you're following me, so I'm going to show it to you. The reflex area for your hands for reflexology. Okay, number 5, potatoes are also high in deuterium. And again, deuterium is not a good thing, okay? It's a thumbs down, because it can have negative impacts on your energy production, on your mitochondrial health. We need healthy mitochondria to stay healthy so we don't get cancer and all these other diseases. And there's, a lot of research now. There is a deuterium center and more emerging around the world that they are working on deuterium depletion, of course, and treating things like cancer, okay? So that's really important. Okay, number 4, we've got it. Did somebody have it here? Yes? All right, number 4 is beet sugar. Also high in that deuterium. Oops, and I can't spell today. Sugar. There we go. Number 3 on the list. Can anybody guess what number 3 is? I already see number 1. Yes, wheat. Wheat already came in. Okay, so wheat. So again, people who have a wheat gluten sensitivity, which seems to be all the rage, is that a deuterium problem? Is that a glyphosate problem? Is it a gluten problem? You have to ask yourself, and that's why if you are eating wheat, try not to eat it all the time, and try to eat organic if you can, and of course where it's coming from. North American wheat versus, of course, let's say Italian wheat or wheat from overseas is going to be, in my opinion, healthier, from what I've experienced as well. Okay, number 2. Did this one come in? Yes, I see it, Dawn. I see it. I see the emoji. That is amazing. Corn, also high in deuterium. Corn's at 155 parts per million. And number 1, the worst food drink, which is, unfortunately, J-Puck, you've got it. Yes, Frozen's Matt had it very early. Again, there we go, coconut water. And it is up at, I ran out of space, 156 parts per million of deuterium. So maybe think twice if you want to drink that deuterium in your coconut water. Here's the other thing. A lot of supplements are high in deuterium. If they're synthetically made, they've got deuterium. So another thing to think about, it may be something, again, that I could talk about in a future show. All right, so that's why I love whole food supplements that tend to have, natural ingredients that aren't going to be high in that deuterium. And a lot of, supplements and their additives. So remember, if you're just tuning in now, we talked about a lot of additives, which I educate a lot on. I have some videos, and this is what I do when I'm on television, as I share this demonstration with the magnesium stearate, why you need not be ingesting that, because it is quite toxic. And if you didn't know, a lot of people actually have symptoms from taking their so-called natural vitamins because it's got that magnesium stearate in there, which is a chemical. It's not magnesium. It's a flow agent that they use to speed up their production time. So that's a big thing. Okay, let's go through the sea moss. I know that, yes, really quickly. Should we run over here? All right, so sea moss is known as Chondrus crispus. Okay, so that's the Latin name, and it's a form of algae. I've got some here with my water, and this is just curating now. And I'm going to show you how we blend this next week. Okay, so you can actually ingest your sea moss in your smoothies and things. But it has a lot of great health attributes. So let's look at the list really quickly. It has iron, which is amazing, 10%. So that's pretty good for a food source. 10% of the daily value that we need for our iron. Magnesium, of course, we're always hard pressed to get enough magnesium. Zinc, copper, both very potent antivirals. So that's why we know that sea moss is great for your immune system. That's why it was all the rage, in videos that were circling a couple years ago with everybody worried about getting sick with their immune system, of course. Sea moss was all the rage. Okay, so how do we know that it's good for us? Well, what else does it do? It helps to support our healthy thyroid function. It also helps to improve our gut health. Can we see that list really quickly? Thank you. As well as supporting weight loss, helps to support great fertility because it's loaded with those minerals, remember. Also for our immune system, muscle recovery, healthy hair, skin, and nails, because again, it's loaded with those minerals. So if you want to screenshot that really quickly, that is fantastic in terms of being able to get enough sea moss in, which is great. And okay, more questions coming in. Hello, Claudette, thank you. In Cabo San Lucas, and hello, thank you for tuning in today. Annette, yes, so for iron, it is something that we talked about yesterday as well. So some great things to look for in a good quality iron supplement. Let's go through those really quickly. So this is the type that I take, is the iron bisglycinate, and the one that I take is a whole food complex without fillers, no magnesium stearate. Of course, it comes from that GMP, so you got to look for that on the label. Good manufacturing processes and third-party tested. That's another thing with vitamins that a lot of people don't reckon and realize, is that they need to be third-party tested to make sure that they don't have any toxins in them. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And yeah, that is okay. Where can you buy the sea moss? You can buy it in the health food store. You can buy it online. Just make sure that it's a good quality one. And you want to spend a little bit more money when you're purchasing sea moss, because sea moss and any type of algae actually can trap heavy metal toxins from the water in which it is growing. So that's something that you have to be aware of. And that's why one of the reasons why you need to rinse it a few times before. And I'll go through that whole process next week when I show you how to prepare that sea moss. Okay, so that's something that is awesome. Thank you, thank you. All right. So thank you. What if foods are organic? Is organic still bad? Lori, that's a great question. I prefer organic when you can, if it's a reputable organic farmer. Again, you're not always going to know that, but I do believe that organic is better in most cases in terms of, pesticide residue, toxins, glyphosate, and those types of things. So yes, but not everybody can afford organic. So you do your best. I mean, doing your best is what we're all about, right? And just making little, in terms of your health, Sonia, thank you. You're great as well. Thank you for tuning in today. So in terms of your health, it's those baby steps, and taking those baby steps towards getting healthier is all that I ask. I mean, it's not a huge investment in time, energy. A lot of things are free as well, like natural sunlight exposure. Just go out, get out into the sun so that you feel better. And that's why I talk a lot about natural sunlight exposure here on the Dr. Janine Show. All right, so thank you for everybody who tuned in today. That was great. I hope that I was able to answer your questions. Yes, please put the fact that, if you do have more questions, and check out my content and all my content. If you have more questions, comments, something that you'd like me to cover in a future show, please put it into that comment section on, any of my videos for that matter. And my team will always let me know what you want more information on. Have a great day, everyone. Make sure you tune in next week on Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Dr. Janine Show. We will convene again next Tuesday, and have a great week, everyone. Okay, we'll talk to you then. Bye.